former head of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, has died.
Right.
But, we really want to go beyond just kind of the headline.
Absolutely.
And understand what made Cecile Richards such a compelling advocate.
Yeah, what made her so effective, I think, is the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people, they're they believe in things strongly, but they're not always so good at making other people believe in those things.
Right. They're not good at getting other people on board.
Exactly.
With their vision or their cause.
Exactly.
And she seemed to be so good at that.
Yeah, and I think, to really understand that we need to look beyond just, the things that she did and look more at like who she was and where she came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, her life was more than just events, right?
Right.
It was a masterclass in advocacy.
Yeah.
Just in how to do it effectively. And I think, her values and the way she thought about things strategically.
Right.
That's what made her so effective.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. This idea that she kind of had this legacy of fighting for what's right.
Yeah.
Even when it's not popular, and the article really highlights her upbringing.
Yes.
Especially the influence of her mother, the former Texas Governor Ann Richards.
Of course, yes.
And I think about that famous line that Ann Richards had that Cecile would often repeat as well.
Yes.
That's not how my mama raised me.
Yeah, she said that all the time.
And it's just so powerful.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it really speaks to this idea that, Cecile Richards wasn't just,
right.
She wasn't just fighting for things because she thought they were important.
Right.
She really believed that, the way she had been raised, the values that had been instilled in her.
Right.
That's what made doing the right thing so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that spirit really came through in a lot of the things that she did.
Totally.
But especially during her time at the helm of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can only imagine leading an organization like that, especially during the time of the Trump administration.
Oh, I mean, you can't even imagine.
The challenges must have just been
constant,
astounding.
Absolutely.
And so how did she do it?
Right.
I mean, how did she manage to counter all of these attacks on the organization?
Right.
And maintain this momentum?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to she was really good at connecting with people on a personal level,
Okay. Yeah.
Like she really, I think she had this knack for
right.
for getting people to see that the things she was fighting for, the things Planned Parenthood was fighting for, weren't just political issues. They were actually, impacting real people's lives.
Right.
And that's how she was able to build coalitions and get people to support Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was also really good at the political game, you know?
Right.
Like she understood how to how to work the system.
Right.
How to make sure that the people in power knew that.
But she was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things
money to be messed with
that really stands out is this quote from the 2017 Women's March.
Right.
We're not going to take this lying down, and we will not go back.
It gives me chills.
Oh, it's so powerful.
So powerful. She, and she was so good at delivering those kinds of lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she was a great speaker.
She was incredible.
And she had just a real presence about her,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when she spoke, people listened.
Right.
It wasn't just the words, it was the way she said them.
Yeah, and she was able to
there was just something about her that
blame that emotional connection.
That demanded your attention.
With this strategic action. Right.
Yeah.
Which I think was really key.
Yeah, and I think that was really crucial to her success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to sort of like get people riled up.
Right.
But it's another thing to channel that.
Yeah.
To actually make it into something productive.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was able to do that.
Yeah.
She was able to take all that energy and that anger and all that frustration and turn it into, action, into something real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about Planned Parenthood. It wasn't just about reproductive rights for her.
No, it was much bigger.
It was much, much bigger.
It was about women's equality.
Yeah.
It was about making sure that women
Right.
had the same opportunities as men.
Right.
And that was really at the heart of everything she did.
Yeah.
And
you can see that in how she moved on.
Yeah.
From Planned Parenthood to co-found Supermajority.
Exactly.
An organization focused on mobilizing women voters.
Right, and that was a really strategic move, I think, on her part.
Tell me about it.
Like she understood that if you really wanted to change things, if you really wanted to make a difference,
right,
you had to change the way the system worked.
Right.
You had to change the power dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so by focusing on voter mobilization, she was basically trying to give women more of a voice.
Right.
Yeah. She was trying to shift the balance of power,
right,
in a way that would benefit women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well.
And even when she was facing her own personal challenges, this brain cancer diagnosis, she still had this incredible grace.
She did.
And I remember reading this quote.
Oh, I love her quotes.
From 2024, she said, "Why should your life be just about you?"
Oh, that's such a good one.
And it really makes you think.
It does. And it really speaks to her selflessness.
Yes.
She really believed that we all have a responsibility to make the world a better place, and that our lives shouldn't be just about our own personal happiness.
Right.
Or our own personal success.
Yeah, it's about this impact that we can make.
Exactly.
On the world around us.
Exactly.
And
she certainly did that.
She did.
President Biden awarding her the Presidential Medal of Freedom really speaks to that.
That's the highest honors.
It really does. And
a civilian can get.
And even Biden's praise, he talked about her courage, her conviction, and her dedication to equality and justice.
Yeah, and I think...
And it's such a fitting tribute.
It is.
To a life dedicated to building a better world.
Yeah, and I think, the fact that she got that, that really shows how much of an impact she had.
Yeah.
Not just on the people around her, but on the country as a whole.
Right.
She was a true American hero.
Yeah, absolutely. So what can we take away?
Right. From Cecile Richards' life and her work.
Well, I think, one of the biggest takeaways is that it's not enough to just believe in something.
Yeah. Right.
You actually have to be willing to fight for it.
Right.
You have to be willing to put yourself out there, to take risks,
right,
to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
And Cecile Richards did all of that.
Right.
And she did it with grace and with dignity.
Absolutely.
And with a smile on her face.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think, for all of us who are trying to make the world a better place.
Right.
She's a real inspiration,
Yeah.
She shows us that it's possible to fight for what you believe in, and to actually win.
Yeah. And to never give up.
Exactly.
And that even when you're facing challenges, you can still do it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we can learn from her is that it's important to be strategic in the way that you approach advocacy.
Right.
You can't just be passionate.
Yeah.
You have to also have a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to think about what's the most effective way to achieve your goals.
Right.
And Cecile Richards was really good at that.
Yeah.
She understood how to use the system to her advantage.
Right.
And I think that's something that we can all learn from.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just about shouting the loudest. It's about being smart.
Yeah.
About being strategic.
Yeah.
About knowing how to play the game.
Right.
And Cecile Richards was a master of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a really insightful
Me too.
conversation about Cecile Richards.
Yeah, she was an amazing woman.
She really was.
Yeah.
And I think her legacy is going to continue to inspire people.
Oh, for sure.
For many, many years to come.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think the question that we should all be asking ourselves now is, how can we live up to that legacy?
Right. Yeah.
How can we be inspired by her example to continue to advocate for the causes that we believe in?
Yeah, that's the question.
Even in the face of adversity.
When it's hard.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap things up.
All right.
But this is definitely something that I'm going to be thinking about.
I will be too.
For quite some time. So thank you.
Thank you
for listening.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
All right. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.